Welcome everyone, and we are going to have a very special yoga practice today, focusing on the part of the body that is very important. It's our foundation, our feet, but we don't often think about our yoga being focusing on the feet. So we'll be doing some poses that you know that are good for the feet, but maybe some different stretches as well. Props today, you need a hand towel, and go ahead and you could use an old t-shirt as well. And go ahead and take your hand towel and roll it into a little tube, a little mini yoga mat. And place that on your mat, and we're going to use it standing up. So just have it off to the side, already rolled up, so it's available to you. And then for one pose, we're going to use either a strap or a belt, or you could even use that same rolled up towel unfurled. We're just going to be placing it around the toes to give our toes a stretch. So that's only for one pose. So that's what you need. We are also going to be bearing most of the weight on one leg when we're standing so that we can do some stretches with the opposite foot. And it's not about balance today, it's about the feet. So in order to do those poses, if you need an assist, you could use the wall, or you could also have a hand on a chair. So I'll show that option of using a wall, because really it's not about the balance today, it's about the feet. And then finally, we've got a couple poses on our hands and knees. So if you want to use that same roll-up towel to cushion your knees, you can, or you can have a knee pad available to you. So I actually suffer from something called metatarsalgia. And so you think about the metatarsals, the bones that lead up to your toes. And at the very end there, that's the very soft part of the ball of your foot. It's very cushiony, and that gets inflamed on me, and just on the left foot. Don't know how it happened. Could be a bad pair of shoes. It could be like overuse of many, many years of leading exercise classes, high impact exercise. Who knows? But it's only on my left foot. And so these poses really help me. So I hope they help you too, because there's often different foot ailments out there that we all suffer with. So let's start though with a hand gesture that represents the earth. It's called the Earth Mudra, or Prithvi. And we take the ring finger and the thumb and bring those tips together and leave all the other fingers extended on both hands. Relax your elbows down to your waist and just let your palms be open to the sky. Take a few breaths and think about the earth and connecting to Earth's energy through the feet. One more breath cycle. And release. Open your eyes, wiggle out your fingers. We will start with our normal spinal warm-up. So I'm backing up. You can see me head to toe. Coming into mountain pose. There's a pose already. Foundation for the feet. Finding that balance through all four corners of each foot. Not leaning forward onto the balls, not leaning back on the heels. Finding that perfect balance in all four corners of the feet. And then stacking everything over that portion of the foot that is in the rear, the heel, knees, hips, shoulders, and ears. All come over the heels, and then draw your shoulder blades into your back pockets. Beautiful mountain pose. Let's elongate the spine. Inhale, scoop the air up, and then float the arms down. If you want, add a little bend of the knees to activate those lower body muscles as you're warming up the spine. Let's do one more elongation as high as you can on this one. And then release. Standing cat and cow, bend the knees and hips. Draw the navel in, tuck the chin. Exhale. Inhale, pinch the shoulder blades together. Do that again. Standing cat, standing cow. Flexion and extension. Observe the mobility and fluidity of your spine. Imagine all the vertebrae just bending like an ocean's wave, undulating. One more. And rise to stand tall, both hands up above your head, and we'll start that tilting motion for lateral flexion. Think about the lifting side. Lift one side of the rib cage and then the other. Let's do one more each side. Release to center and release the arms down. Roll the shoulders back, and we'll go into a gentle rotation. Bringing one arm forward and then the other. Keep your knees and hips stationary, and you're moving the rib cage and shoulders. If you want, come into helicopter arms. Engage the abdominal muscles. One more each side. And release. All right, we're going to go into the first pose that you may not recognize as part of our yoga sequence, where we actually just roll out the foot. So here's one pose where we're going to balance on the right leg, and we're going to be moving that left foot around. So if you want, use a wall or chair, put all your weight on your right foot, and lift up the heel on the left. Keep the ball of the foot on the earth, and just start rolling a circle with the ball of the foot. If you don't need the wall, you don't have to use it, but it's not about balance here, it's about the foot. Reverse the direction. Also getting a little mobility through the hip, right? Pause, and now instead of being on the ball of the foot, come up onto the toes. So a little bit more balance if you want. Place your hand on your furniture or wall, and now make a little circle using the toes. So the ball of the foot and the heel are lifted here. Reverse the direction. Wiggle out those toes, feel some action in those little joints, and then pause. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So bear the weight on your left, lift up the heel of the right, keep the ball of the foot on the mat for the first part, and start making those circles with the ball of the foot. If you want, find another piece of furniture or a wall on the other side, or you could use the same side actually. Go the other direction. And now pause, lift up even higher. So now you're on the tippy toes. The ball of the foot is lifted and the heel, and start to roll out those digits, those toes. Reverse. And pause. Go ahead and set it down, press it out. All right, another pose that you may not recognize. This one is going to use one foot to hold down part of the foot. So again, if you want, find some stability through your wall and place your left heel on your right big toe. And then lift up the 4 remaining right toes and hold that for 2 breath cycles. Release, and now move that left foot to the 4 toes and lift only the right big toe. And release. Switching sides, again, you can continue to use your support here. Take your right heel, put it on your left big toe, so the big toe stays down, and you lift the 4 remaining left toes. One more breath. And release, and we switch it. Take your right foot, place it across all 4 toes from the second toe to the pinky, and lift only the left big toe. A little stretch there for the foot. And release. Go ahead and prance it out. Picking up one heel and letting the tiptoes touch. Prancing and pause. Going into calf raises, working the calf muscles and the feet muscles here, starting with a split stance. So right foot is forward, left foot is back. Very shallow split stance. Left big toe is even with the right heel. Shoulders relaxed, spine is tall, and we lift up, calf raises and lower. Working on the strength of the feet here. Oh, I just heard a little crack. Snap, crackle, pop. Lots of joints in the feet. One more. And we switch our split stance. Left foot is forward, right foot is back. Even up the toe and the heel, big toe and the heel. And we'll go into that same calf raise motion in split stance. Shoulders relaxed, ribcage lifted, and lift the balls of the feet up. The heels up. The balls of the feet remain attached to the mat. One more. And now parallel feet. Tennis ball distance between the big toes. If you need a little bit more stability, you can step it a little bit wider than your hips, just a tiny bit wider. This will give you more stability, or if you want a little bit more challenge, feet are right underneath your hips. Tennis ball distance between the big toes. And we lift the heels and lower down. You don't have to lift as high as I'm lifting. Yours might be a little bit more shallow lift. That's okay. One more. And walk it out. All right, we're going to go into a few more poses here. This next one, keeping both feet on a mat, chair squat, working on the foundation of the feet and strength of the remaining part of the body. So we're not going to ignore the rest of the body today. And then going into balance chair after that. So start just with chair squat. Bend the knees, bend the hips, tuck that navel into your spine, draw your tail underneath as if you were a dog and you had a tail. You could tuck underneath. Press firmly into the earth through the balls of the feet and the heels. Arms can be forward or not, whatever you want with your arms. Splay the toes and rise up. Exhale, back down into chair squat. Two more. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, down into chair squat. And now prance the heels one at a time. Lift the heels in your chair squat. Hands could be in front or behind, whatever's easy for you. And now if you want, add the challenge of both heels lifting. Another little snap, crackle, pop. And if you want to go one step further into balance chair, see if you can lift up both heels and stay there, balancing on the balls of the feet, and then rise up and release. Good work, my friends. All right, one leg mountain poses. Again, focusing not on balance, but on the feet and ankles. So, if you want, go ahead and find something to give you a little support. We're balancing on the right leg first, coming into one leg mountain. Shoulders relaxed, ribcage lifted. And imagine your big toe is a pencil. We're going to draw the entire alphabet. So 26 different letters. Go ahead and start with A and B and C. I'm not going to call out all the letters. I'll let you know when I'm halfway. But don't worry, if you end up a little bit, ahead of me or behind, that's okay. I'll give you a couple of seconds to catch up if yours is a little bit more slower. I'm halfway. I'm drawing M right now. Keep going. Working that ankle mobility here. And also moving those toes around. Almost there. I'm on X and Y and Z. If you're not there yet, I'm going to pause here and take another breath cycle for you to finish. And then release. We're going to do that same thing on the other side. So bear the weight on your left foot, lift up your right knee. Again, you don't have to hold on. If you want to add a little challenge for balance, you can. But again, it's not about balance today. It's about the feet. Let's start the alphabet with A and B and C. And now you keep going. Just draw those letters. You can say them out loud if you want, or you can just do it in your head. I'll let you know when I'm halfway. Just move that ankle around, all kinds of motion. I'm on M, I'm halfway. Keep going. Remember, I'll give you a breath cycle to catch up. If you're going a little bit more slowly, that's okay. Go at your own pace. Almost there. I'm on X and Y and Z. I'm going to take a breath cycle for you to catch up in case you're a little more slow with your alphabet. That's okay. And then release. Ooh, good work, my friends. All right, bearing the weight back on that right leg. Take your left big toe and touch the earth in front of you at 12 o'clock. Keep that foot in that pointed configuration. Sweep it around out to the side and touch at 6 o'clock. Come back around 12 o'clock. And again, if you want to have your balance, a little support, you can touch the wall or a piece of furniture here. Let's do one more. And return to mountain, switching sides. Take the right big toe and touch the earth in front of you at 12 o'clock. And we'll switch it behind and in front. Just do a few at your own pace. Remember, you could use the same wall. You don't have to go to the opposite side here. Just a little support. Let's do one more. And return to mountain. All right, we're going to add in a little sequence here, a layer cake sequence, just to work on the strength of the entire body, which the foundation of that is the feet. So there's going to be some lunges and a one-leg mountain and a warrior one pose. I'm going to face the screen the entire time. I'm not going to do any side facing. So I'm just going to step forward just a tiny bit to make sure that when I go into warrior one, I've got room to step behind me. But we're going to start by a forward step, and our left leg is going to move. Right leg is the foundation. Step forward into lunge with cactus arms, and then push back using the strength of the foot and leg. Second time, lunge, push back. One more, lunge, push back. Now we add a chair squat. Lunge forward, cactus arms, push back, chair squat, arms forward. Rise to mountain, second time. Lunge, chair squat, and mountain. One more, lunge, chair squat, and mountain. Now we're going to add on a side lunge and resting your hands on your left thigh. Lunge forward, cactus, chair squat, and now take it off to the left, hands on the thigh, soften back to center. Second time, forward lunge, chair squat, side lunge, soft knees center. One more time, forward and chair squat, side lunge, and soften back to mountain. When we come back to mountain, our fourth layer is going to be one-legged mountain. So we're going to rise up into that one-legged mountain pose. Working on balance, ankle stability, core stability. Starting with our forward lunge. Push back, chair squat. Step left, side lunge. Come back to mountain, but lift it up, one-leg mountain. Release. Second time. Forward, squat, to the left, center and balance. One more time. Forward lunge, chair squat, side lunge, center and balance. Release. Adding on, this time after we're lifted with that left leg, we're going to add on a warrior one. So you're going to take it back, drop the heel, move that right shoulder back and come into your warrior one. Make sure you've got room. I'm going to step forward even a little bit further so I don't hit that furniture behind me. Forward lunge, left leg is moving. Chair squat, legs are together. Side lunge, left leg moves again. Center and balance. And now take that leg behind you, drop the heel, and come into warrior one, arms up. Roll that right shoulder back and return to mountain. Second time, forward lunge, chair squat, side lunge, center and balance. Step it back for warrior one, right shoulder back, arms up, and mountain. One more time. Forward, together, to the left, center, balance, warrior one, right shoulder back, and mountain. Good work. One more layer. We're going to add a humble warrior, so we're going to add a bow. Forward lunge, together for chair squat, to the left for side lunge, center and balance. Take that foot back, drop the heel, right shoulder back, warrior one, add the bow and lift, and bring it back together. Second time, forward lunge, chair squat, side lunge, center to balance, back for warrior one, right shoulder back, and bow, and mountain. Last time on this side, forward, chair squat, to the left, center and balance, step it back, bow, and lift. Center back up. And we'll do that entire sequence on the other side. Wiggle out your toes. Feel the energy that you're getting from the earth into the feet and into the rest of the body. All right, starting with our forward lunge. Step forward right, cactus arms, and back to mountain. Second time, back to mountain. Third time. And mountain. Adding chair squat. Forward lunge, cactus. Push it together, chair squat, and mountain. Second time. And chair squat. Tuck your tail, and mountain. One more time. Forward, chair squat, and mountain. Adding on from our mountain, adding on from our chair squat, going into that side lunge. I'm going to move, I just realized my little towel's right there, so I'm going to move it off to the side so I don't step on it. Forward lunge, chair squat, side lunge, hands on the thigh, and mountain. Forward lunge, chair squat, to the right, and center. One more time. Forward, and chair, side lunge, and mountain. Adding one-legged mountain. Forward, chair squat, side lunge, shift back to center, and lift that right foot up. Release. Second time, forward lunge, chair squat, side lunge, center and balance, and release. One more time. Forward lunge, cactus, chair squat, tuck your tail, side lunge, lift that chin, center and balance. Release. All right, make sure you've got room to step behind you for your next sequence, which adds on warrior one. Forward lunge, step together, chair squat, step right, side lunge, center and balance, right foot goes back, drop the heel down, throw the left shoulder back as you lift up, warrior one, step it together. Second time, lunge, chair squat, side lunge, center and balance, right foot goes back, drop the heel, warrior one, and together. One more time, lunge, chair squat, side lunge, center, balance, take the foot back, drop the heel, left shoulder back, warrior one, and mountain. Last layer on our cake, adding that bow, humble warrior. Forward lunge, chair squat, side lunge, center and balance, warrior one, and bow, strength, and lift, mountain. Twice more and we're done with our cake. Forward lunge, chair squat, side lunge, center balance, step back, left shoulder back, warrior one, and bow, and lift, mountain. Last time, forward lunge, chair squat, side lunge, center balance, warrior one, left shoulder back, bow, inhale, lift it up, and come back to mountain. Walk it out. Whew. Feel a little energy in the body there. Splay the toes, wiggle them out. And we're going to go back to some poses that really focus on just the feet here. That one was really about the entire body, with the feet being the foundation that give us the strength for the rest of the body. Now let's focus just on the feet. We're going to be doing one foot at a time. Again, if you need a little support here, we're going to be lifting up the heel. So we'll do it 3 times, 3 different variations. So bear the weight on your right leg. Don't lock it out. So here's what not to do. Don't push this knee all the way back like that. Make sure there's a little softness to that knee. And now we're going to lift up the left heel. Keep the ball of the foot on the earth and lower back down. Second time, heel up and down. Third time, heel up and down. Now we're going to lift the heel and the ball of the foot, but keep the tips of the toes touching the mat. Heel up, ball up, tips of toes still on the mat, lower back down. Second time, heel and the ball of the foot up, release. Third time, heel and the ball of the foot up, and release. One more variation here. This time we're going to lift the heel and the ball of the foot, and we're going to curl the toes so the toenails touch the mat. So heel up, ball up, curl the toes, toenails touch the mat and all the way back down, rolling onto those toenails. Second time, heel up, ball up, roll onto the toenails and lower down. Last time, heel, ball, toenails touch, and release. Same thing, second side. Again, you can use the same wall if you want. Just the heel up and release. Keep the ball of the foot touching. Heel up and release. Third time, heel up and release. Now adding the ball of the foot lifting. Heel and the ball of the foot lift. Toe tips touch, release. Second time, up onto the toe tips and release. Third time, up onto the toe tips and release. Now adding the curling of the toes so the toenails touch the mat. Heel and the ball up, curl onto the toenails and release. Second time, heel and ball up, curl the toes and release. One more time, heel and the ball of the foot up, curl to the toenails and release. All right, so that was a little dynamic stretching for the foot. We're going to go into a little static hold here. Let's go back to bearing the weight on the right leg. And we're going to take the toenails to the mat, which is the one we just ended with. But we're going to keep it there. Hold it, toenails touching the mat. Take that foot just maybe 4 inches behind you. And bend both knees. Baby squat. Baby, baby, baby. Rise up and we switch. Start with the feet parallel. Take the left leg as your foundation, right toenails to the mat. We're still parallel feet, they're right next to each other. And now take that right foot maybe about 4 inches behind, not very far. Toenails still touching the mat, and put a soft bend in both knees. Baby squat, very small. Don't lean forward, tall spine. One more breath. And lift up, release. Going into another standing balance pose, baby tree and tree 3 times each side. We'll balance on the right. Again, it's more about the feet, so if you want, put your hand on the wall or a piece of furniture, open that left leg out, big toes touching, and then bring it to the calf. Release back to baby tree and come into balance tree. One more time, baby tree and balance tree. Release. Same thing, second side. You can have the same hand touching your wall, or you can try it without. Coming into baby tree and regular tree. Baby tree, regular tree. Last one, baby tree and regular tree. Release. All right, we're going to go into a little lunge here, a very small lunge. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see my knees. You don't have to turn. All right, let's step back with the left leg and keep the heel planted. So I didn't step back very far. If I step back really far, my heel tends to lift up. So only go as far back as the heel stays on the mat. And keep your feet separated. You're not on a balance beam. Your feet are separated hip distance apart. Make sure that right foot is in line with the right hip and the left foot is in line with the left hip. And now we're going to add a little motion of the knee. Don't move the heel. Keep that left heel planted on the mat and put a bend in the left knee. Nothing happens on the right leg, it stays the same. Straighten that left knee back out. Keep the heel planted and bend the left knee again. Feel that change the stretch in the Achilles tendon. And now step together and we'll do it on the other side. I'm turning so again you can see my knees. You don't have to turn. Set your hip distance apart. Take that right leg back. Set up your lunge. Your forward knee is bent, just slightly bent. And your back knee is straight. Your back heel is pushing into the earth. Find your balance. If you need to hang on to something, go ahead. Find your balance. And once again, we'll do it twice. Keep that right heel on the mat and bend your right knee. Feel that change the stretch. Straighten it back out. Nothing happens with the left leg. Do that again. Bend the right knee. Keep the heel planted. And straighten it back out. Now release. Now we're going to grab our rolled up towel and put it in front of our feet. So place it on the mat right in front of your feet, and then walk the balls of the feet onto your towel. So your toes are very slightly elevated from your heels. And now splay the toes out. Spread the toes out on your hand towel. Try not to lean forward. Maintain that upright spine. Breathe. And we're going to do a roll down here. So soften the knees. Start to roll down. Let your hands trace down your legs. Maybe you stop at your thighs. Maybe you go all the way to the shins. Maybe you go all the way to the toes. Breathe. Keep the toes splayed. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And we're going to roll back up. Soften the knees. Start to trace your hands up the legs, coming all the way back up. And we're going to move the towel under our heels. So step off the towel, and you move it a couple inches behind, and then come in front of your towel and set your heels on the towel. Now the heels are slightly higher than the toes. And we're going to go into that forward fold again. So roll down. Letting your hands trace down your legs. Maybe you stop at your thighs or your shins. Maybe you go all the way to the mat. You pick. Bow your head. Bend your knees and roll up. Head comes up last. Roll those shoulders back. All right. We're going to use this again later on the mat, so just push it off to the side. Now we're going to take a little walk. Whatever space you have, we're going to count down from 10, and when we get to 1, be next to a wall. So find your wall that you're going to go to. I'm just going to go to this wall that's close to me, but I'm just going to make a little circle in front. And we're going to do a releve walk. So you're going to walk up on the balls of your feet. Go ahead and start. And I'm counting down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, get next to your wall, 1, and lower your heels. And we're going to do a stretch at the wall. So take your left foot, you can have your hand on the wall, put the ball of the foot up on the wall, keep the heel on the floor, breathe, shift your hips back and lean into the wall. A little deeper if you want. Soften the knee and lift up, and we switch. Take the opposite ball of the foot, put it on the wall, heel stays on the floor. Start to shift your hips back, lean into it, lean into the wall. You're going to kiss the wall. Breathe. And soften the knee, rise up. Come back to your spot. We're going to finish our standing sequence with balancing butterfly, which is going to take us down to the mat to a seated position. So if you want, because we're going to be very close to the mat, go ahead and move your device right now. My head might disappear a little bit, but you'll see it again. Before you do that, know that the options for balancing butterfly, you can do it against the wall. Your feet are in a V shape, heels together, and you can come down into balancing butterfly with your fingertips on the wall. Again, we're not focusing on balance today, we're focusing on the feet. So go where you can go. I'm going to move my device down to a little stool, and then I'm going to come back to that spot and do it without the wall. Making that V shape with the feet, start to sink into your butterfly squat, hands come to the earth. Breathe. Now you might be against the wall, that's okay. If you are, whether you're at the wall or you're at the floor with your hands, see if you can take away some of those fingers. Instead of 10 fingers, I'm going to go to my peace fingers, index fingers, maybe just a single index finger. Or if you want to try balance, take your hands off of the wall or floor, look at something that doesn't move, and then release. Have a seat. So your first option for the towel today is you can sit on your little rolled up towel. That lifts your hips up a little higher and helps give you a nice alignment of your spine. So you can do this, you don't have to, you can just come into stack pose. And then from stack pose, we're going to go into easy pose or Sukhasana. So go ahead and bend your knees coming into a cross-legged pose. And here's where the towel under the hips really helps me maintain that upright spine. Look down and see which leg is in front, because we're going to do it a second time. We want to be able to switch. From here, we're going to go into a folded pose. So walk your hands forward, feeling a little stretch through the hips, so we're not ignoring the rest of the body today, even though we are focusing on the feet. Breathe. Lift up and extend the legs forward. Remember which leg is in front. And we're going to take it into half hero pose. So take your left knee, bend it, toenails touch the mat, and you're right next to the hip. You're not sitting on the foot. Take the hands behind you and recline. Just stretching through the top of the foot as well as the top of the thigh. Now if you've got some room and you want to come further down, if you want to come down to your elbows, you can. I have some furniture here, so this is as far as I'm going to go, but you're welcome to take this further for a deeper stretch. One more breath cycle. Lift up and extend that left leg back forward. Give a little shake to the knees, and we're going to come back into easy pose with the opposite leg in front. So for me, that means my left leg is now in front, and this is now my non-dominant side. You can maybe observe that this knee is up a lot higher than when I was in the other side. So we probably picked our stretchiest side, our most flexible side, to go into on the first go around. This is our less flexible side. But we're still going to add that fold. It might be a smaller fold, so hands come in front, draw your elbows down, easing a stretch into those hips and low back area. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And lift up. Straighten the legs out in front of you, and we'll go into half hero, second side. Bend your right knee, toenails touch the mat. Adjust your toe if it's in the way. You're not sitting on the foot, it's right next to your hip. And now coming into that reclined position, hands come behind you. You may recline just 1 inch, or maybe you recline a little bit more. Maybe your elbows bend, and you can bring all the way down to the elbows. Listen to your body. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And lift up, straighten both legs out, and we're coming into that V shape with the legs. Open angle. Your V shape might be shallow, or could be a little bit wider. And we're going to add a fold. Hands come in front, draw the chest forward, draw the elbows down, bow the head. Breathe. Inhale, lift up, pick up the knees from underneath, draw the knees together, and then bring the soles of the feet together, coming into bound angle. Hands to the outside edges of the feet. Sit tall, breathe. One more breath cycle. And release. Extend your left leg out and place your right foot on your left thigh. Make sure that ankle bone isn't pressing into the soft muscle. We're going to do a couple just mobility for the toe digits here. So taking your left hand, grab the right big toe. You can keep that opposite hand on the ball of the foot and just start to stretch that big toe up and down. And then add some circular motion too. And go the other way. And now we're going to bring the toes in towards the ankle one at a time. So big toe in, second toe in, third toe in, fourth toe in, pinky toe in. Now all the toes together. Place the hand behind the toes. Draw all the toes towards the ankle. If you want to add extra pressure, you can add that second hand. Stretching through the sole of the foot and the underside of the toes. Breathe. Release. Now take your right hand and interlace fingertips in between the toes. So 14 fingertips between 5 toes. If that starts to cramp your foot, come back out a little bit. Just make it the tip of your finger. And then use that hand to just rotate the ball of the foot around. holding onto the heel with your left hand. Go the opposite direction. We're stimulating circulation through those toe digits here. Release and draw that foot to the inside of the left leg, going into head to knee pose. Draw your hands down towards the shin, bow your head, and keep the head reaching towards those left toes. Observe your right foot. Maybe it feels like your fingers are still in between your toes. That was that circulation that we stimulated. One more breath cycle. And inhale up. We'll switch and do that sequence on the other side. So go ahead and extend that leg out and draw that left foot in. And we'll start just by grabbing the big toe, brushing the dust off from my floor, and go forward and back with the toe, up and down, flexion, extension. And then adding some circles, opposite direction. Pause, and now one at a time, the toes are coming in towards the ankle. Big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and pinky toe. And now all the toes together, drawing in, add the second hand if you want a deeper stretch. And release. Interlace your four fingers between 5 toes. Remember, don't let your foot cramp up. If you start to feel a cramp, move the finger out a little bit so it's just the fingertip, or also move it up towards the toenail and not down into the webbing area. And now hold on to the heel with your right hand and just start to move the ball of the foot around. If your fingers slide out, readjust them. I still feel the sensation on my other foot of the fingers between my toes. Pause and go the other way. Pause and draw that foot to the inside of the right thigh, coming into head to knee pose, Janushirasana. Hands come down to the shin, draw the elbows down, bow the head, reach the head towards your right toes. Observe your left foot, feel that sensation that maybe the fingertips are still in between the toes. One more breath cycle. And slowly lift up out of that pose. Extend the legs long. We're going to use our strap. You can also use your hand towel for this. In fact, I'll show it using the hand towel. You don't even have to go get your strap if it's somewhere else. We're just going to place it on the toes. So grab your hand towel, and I'm just going to fold it and place it around the toes. So normally when we're doing the lifting action, we put it on the sole of the foot. But this time, have it up a little higher because we're not lifting. We're just going to pull in towards the body. Relax the shoulders, and now release the pressure. Second time, pull in towards the body. Keep breathing. Release the pressure. Switch to the other set of toes. Draw those toes towards your body using your prop, whether it's your strap or a towel. Release the pressure. We'll do it a second time. Draw those toes towards your body using the prop. Feel that stretch not only in the foot, but also in the ankle and maybe the calf, even behind the knee. And then release. Go ahead and wiggle those toes out. In sitting in staff pose, we'll point and flex. And now squeeze and release. And now rock side to side, together. Pause, separate your feet a tiny bit, and now we'll mirror, go in and out. And pause. Go ahead and come to a bent knee sit. You're going to be using your towel here, so if you're still sitting on your towel, go ahead and take it off to the side. But before we do that, just resting your arms on your knees, splay the toes, and then release. So we're adding a little hold there. Splay the toes, and release. One more time with the hold. Splay the toes, Keep breathing. And release. And now at tempo, splay, release, splay, release. One more. Place your towel in front of you, long ways. And place your feet on the towel so that you've got several inches of towel in front of your toes. Bring your hands behind you. You can recline a little bit. Now just start grabbing the towel, scrunching it up underneath the arches of your feet. When you get all the way there, go ahead and move it all the way back out and do it again. If you wanted to add a challenge to this, we're going to do it one more time. You could put a shoe on your towel, giving it a little weight. I'm not going to do that because my shoes are way over there. But you could add a little weight on the towel, put a shoe there, and do that scrunching motion. Pause. Move the towel out of the way. Go ahead and massage the tops of the feet right at the end of the metatarsals here. And then into the toes, under, get into the arches. Use the inside arch area to get a nice massage. And all the way up into the ankle bone and around to the back of the heel. All right, we're going to come into table pose now. If you need a little cushion for your knees, you can use this same towel. Put it under your knees. Coming into table pose. Splay the hands. And now curl the toes onto the mat. Start to walk your hands back towards your knees. You're going to feel more pressure the further you come back. Your hips come closer to your heels and you're adding more pressure. If this is too much, crawl it back forward. Listen to your body. If you want more, and you'll make sure that your feet are available to take this extra pressure, you can place your hands on your thighs and come to an upright seated pose. If this is too much, if you get here and say, oh no, put your hands right back down. Listen to your body. Breathe. Shoulders relaxed. Take one more breath cycle. And now crawl back forward. Release your toes. Place your toenails on the mat. And once again, walk back towards your knees. This time, come behind. Walk all the way back behind. So now your hips are sitting on your heels. Find some support. So adjust your hands so you have little teepees. Now you're going to lift one knee at a time. Adding a stretch to the top of the foot. If this is not working for you, just stay right here with the stretch. You don't have to add the knee lift if that's too much. Listen to your body. If you think you can go one step further, instead of lifting one knee at a time, lift both knees. You have to lean back a little bit and then lower down. Do that one more time if you're adding both knees up. Breathe. And let's come back to table pose. Crawling back forward. And now take your right toes, lift them off the mat, and then slap the mat with the top of the foot. Do that with the left. Lift up and slap the mat. And now go ahead at tempo. It's kind of fun. Just energizing some circulation in the tops of the feet here. Pause. Curl your toes onto the mat. We're going to come into downward facing dog. So step those feet back a bit and then lift your hips up. Lift up through the armpits. Press your thigh bones into your legs. Breathe. And go ahead and prance your down dog. Slow motion prance. Stretching through the soles of the feet. Backs of the ankles. Calves. Slow motion. Do one more each leg. And lower both knees back down to your mat. Take a brief child's pose to release the pressure off of your wrists. Bow your head. And pull back forward into your table. We're going to go into half monkey pose on each leg. So pull forward, step forward with your right leg. Make your hands into little teepees on each edge of the mat and sink your hip up and down. Your left hip is up and down just an inch or so. Make sure this right foot is close to the right edge of your mat. And then pause. We're going to crawl back into half monkey. Walk those hands back, straightening out the right knee, flexing the foot and keeping the heel on the mat. And now coming back forward into a low lunge. Stretching that left hip flexor. Once again, coming back into half monkey, Ardha Hanumanasana, straightening the knee, and forward. Third time we hold. Back into your half monkey, stay here. We're going to add 2 variations of our half monkey pose. So our first variation bends the elbows. Bend, deeper stretch, and straighten. Bend, and straighten. Last one, bend, and straighten. And our second variation takes the toes and rotates the toes towards the right. Keep your heel where it is, so you're just going to rotate the toes. We'll do it 3 times. Rotate toes, come back to straight up and down. Rotate toes, back to straight up and down. Third one we hold. Rotate the toes, hold it here. Feel that deeper stretch on the outside of the foot and the outside of the calf. One more breath cycle. Toes up, draw the chest forward and bring that knee back to the mat. Sink into a quick child's pose. I'm going to do that same half monkey on the other side. I'm going to turn around so you can see my left leg. You don't have to turn, I just want you to be able to see the side view of the pose. Come back into table and step your left leg forward. Keep it up towards the left edge of the mat. Make little teepees with your hands on the edges of the mat. And now sink your right hip up and down. Pause that motion. Going into half monkey 3 times. Crawl the hands back, flex the foot, and forward, lift the heart. Second time, half monkey, flex the foot, and forward, lift the heart. Last time, and we hold this one. And we add our 2 variations. Start to bend the elbows and straighten. Bend and straighten. One more time, bend and straighten. Adding our second variation, adding the rotation of the toes towards your screen. Rotate the toes, stay that heel, keeping the heel where it is, and back to vertical. Second time, rotate the toes, and back to vertical. Last one we hold, rotate the toes, feel that deeper stretch. Keep breathing. And now toes up, crawl it forward, and draw that knee back down onto the mat. Sink into your child's pose. We're going to go into a deeper child's pose here. We're going to open the knees wide. If you were using your towel, you can move it out of the way. Lower the chest down between your knees. Wiggle the toes out. You can rest your forehead on your arms. One more breath cycle. And we're going to finish lying on our back. So lift your chest up. Move the towel out of the way. Go ahead and roll onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Survey your body, and especially your feet. Wiggle the toes. Go ahead and do some more ankle mobility here while you're in your upside down child's pose. I'm adding circles, going the other way. Remember that alphabet we did earlier? We're not going to do the whole alphabet again, just a little bit here. Point and flex. Place the feet on the mat, walk the feet wide, hands can rest on the belly, or you can make cactus arms. And we're going into windshield wipers, rocking onto one side of the foot and then the other, inside edge, outside edge. Just a little massage for the edges of the feet as well as the gluteal area. Pause, walk the feet together. Just one more little stretching for the feet here. Walk your heels towards your bottom. Let your hands rest on the mat, arms alongside your body. And now lift up the heels onto the balls of the feet, stretching the tops of the feet again and lower down. We're not going into a bridge here, we're just lifting and lowering the heels. Pause that motion. Pick up your right leg, bring it on top of the left thigh. Draw that left thigh towards you. And now take your right hand and go ahead and give one more little massaging action to that left or that right foot. Release, switching sides, placing the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Reach behind, grab that right thigh and pull it in closer to get that hip stretch. And then take your left hand onto your left toes. And once again, a little massaging action. Bend the toes, massage. Getting a little massaging action for the foot and maintaining that stretch on the hip. Pause and release. We're going into relaxation now, so you can lengthen the legs out for corpse pose. Letting your palms be open to the sky. If you want to use a prop, if you want to take your towel and put it underneath your neck, you can, if that's comfortable to you. Or you can place it under your head. Take a few breath cycles at your own pace here. Relax your breathing. Allow the duration of the inhale to be equal to the duration of the exhale. Taking just a few more breath cycles here. I'm sitting up just to project my voice. I hope that you enjoyed some of our unique poses today that were meant to benefit the feet. If you have requests, I'm always looking for themes for our yoga practices. So if there's some special theme that you would like me to create a practice, I'd be happy to do that. You can leave a comment on the Exercise with Charlotte Facebook page, or you can send me a Facebook message. Take 2 more deep breath cycles. And we're going to return to a seated pose. So you could either hug your knees into your chest and transition from that pose to a sit-up, or you could hug your knees into your chest, roll onto your side, and push into the earth to come to a seated pose. Thank you for joining me today, my friends. My quote today is a proverb, and it's about using our feet. And it is, if we are facing in the right direction, all we have to do is keep on walking. So use the strength of your feet. Give your feet some love so that you can keep on walking as long as you're in the right direction. Bring your hands outside your hips. Inhale to the sky. Let your thumbs touch your mind, your spirit breath in your body. The spirit in me honors the spirit in all of you. Namaste, my friends. Thank you for joining me today. And again, let me know if there's a special yoga sequence that you'd like me to create for you. Keep breathing.